you can have a debate about whether it's the right or the wrong decision, but I'd also point out, and I think many people in Iraq would, that Saddam Hussein wasn't exactly a force for stability, peace, and prosperity for his country, and was responsible for killing many, many hundreds of thousands of people. So, look, we can debate this, but what interests me is that there's always a reason. I mean, you're suggesting the extremism all comes from that decision, but then we see the extremism in France that, by the way, was opposed to Iraq, and then it's the cartoons, and then you see what happens in Belgium. What is the reason for that? And then you see what is happening in Nigeria or Central African Republic and Mali. And then you see, by the way, when Gaddafi was removed in Libya, we also now have huge instability there. And when we didn't intervene in Syria, we've got probably the worst situation. So my view is you can debate the political decisions, but at some point we've got to understand this extremism has grown up over a long period of time, over decades. Its roots are deep within a perversion of religion, a perversion of the religion of Islam. And I totally agree. Look, if you're sitting in Syria or Iraq today, you need immediate measures, which is why, personally, I support intervention in those situations. And you need immediate relief from the terrorism that is engulfing your life. But let's be very clear about this. Even if we were to defeat those extremist groups there, you've got other extremist groups. And you've got groups now starting in Europe and elsewhere, in Africa, in Central Asia, even in the Far East. And at some point, we've got to deal with the root problem, which is educating people to a closed-minded view of the world that says, if you're not like me, you're my enemy. And we've got to stop making excuses for those people and start to tackle the fundamental incubation of that problem, which lies in formal and informal education systems, educating young people to a culture of hatred to those that are different. And if we don't deal with that, we can debate the political issues forever, but we're never going to get to the root of the problem.